seemed appropriate to turn the camera on at this moment as I make my way on the sacred land towards the place where I feel the broadcast wants to happen. I'm actually walking on a part of the land that I've never been before. And it's significant because what I'm saying is coming from somewhere I've never been before. My hair's in its top knot mode, so I look like a Jedi Hellboy, but from heaven. Hold on a moment. And where the action of broadcasting the Mythica becomes more natural. Ooh, I love the sun so much. There's something to I'm gonna put my rainbow thing on for this. My dope Jedi top knot. It's all about God. God and Goddess. When I set out on the quest years ago, there was this sense of where, I like that actually. When I set out on the quest years ago, I wanted to be in service to something greater than myself, to be a real life knight of the round table, a paladin. I wanted to live the life of that thing, to use what strength I had in service to something noble. And over the years of documenting the story and dealing with both the blessing and the burden that was given onto me of the vision that I was given from the divine that led me to create the Mythica in the first place, I've done just that. Mapping the journey across the subtle earth, building a temple to story, to reveal the world that exists, that already exists for all of us, once we are able to see past the veil of our own ignorance and our own confusion. In this, the Mythica is no less than the return to the vision of and the action of passage back to the garden, to Eden, to heaven on earth, where my function as a mythographer has been to vision and visualize and anchor that subtle world, to show the people the earthen aspect, the body of the goddess, of form herself, that is given life by the formless, by the sun and the solar radiance of awareness. This is a huge thing. As we step into the new earth, as we go through our own individual shadows and distortions, as we discover the medicines and the mantras that transform us, we move along a heroic path, a path through a landscape of our personal legend. That landscape is the body of form herself. It is the vessel for our awareness, our formless awareness, to embrace the movement through the creation. And the movement through the creation is not easy. Being on the quest has been, God beats the shit out of you. You know, Shakti beats the shit out of you, you know, because it's the only way to really understand. And I absolutely did not understand that I did not understand. I only knew that I wanted to be of service to something, to live up to the ideal of the round table. And as I move on the landscape now, there is a sense. See, when I started into the Mythica, I started out with the narrative idea that I'm going to write from the real life Harry Potter world, from the real life Percy Jackson world. I'm going to document my story. I'm going to showcase the nature of the law of correspondence. I'm going to show the journey along the planes, and it's going to be this whole mythic story. And then as I realized that I had traveled so far outside of common consciousness and made my way over the years and the challenges and the confusions and the distortions and the occlusions and the treasures and the triumphs and all those things, as I kept coming back to the earth plane, coming back to the common realms, the shape of that changed. You know, she went from the Mythica, she went from my presentation of her, went from the purely mythopoetic and like you have to be in the know kind of a way, into more looking at like the way people frame shadow work, the way they frame the journey from individual, the illusion of separation, to collective consciousness. She went into the recognition of the various energies and ideas about manifestation and ideas about divination as they occurred in the space of the Akasha, and where I came to see my own noble intent rippling out into the field and coming back into a way that was gradually becoming grounded enough to deliver to the people. To deliver to the people in a way that was like authentic, like I'm talking about awareness, I'm talking about like becoming aware of what's going on beneath the surface. I'm talking about coming into your own majesty of being, of realizing the light and the legend that is you in a grounded way. This is us on the planet. This is what holding space means from my point of view. This is the elements of life. This is like the yogas or the understanding that came through my relentless devotion to the quest. It is the gift of the goddess, the gift of awareness, of form, presented. Such is the gift of the Mythica. And in this, I realized that, like so many of the pantheon of brethren that I know, it is about our relationship with God. It is about our relationship in the body of the goddess, which is essentially saying awareness and form, which collectively could be called God, or goddess. It doesn't really matter. What matters is your relationship to it. And where there's an implicit sacredness that saturates the idea of a mythopoetic narrative, that gives gravitas to the events in one's life, that reveals the meaning of one's incarnation and the landscape of legend that is their blessed footprint on the journey home. Thank you. I'm Peter Fay. Tune into intothemythica.com for more, or if you're already here because I published it to the site, have fun. May you live your myth.